In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use the triads that you already know to create some beautiful jazz chords. Starting with material that you already have in your fingers and in your system is a great way to open up for a lot of jazz chords, and it's also a brilliant way to really strengthen your fretboard knowledge. My name is Larsen. If you want to learn jazz and make music, then subscribe to my channel and click the little bell notification icon so you don't miss anything. It's really interesting to explore how amazing a tool triads actually are for jazz chords. And in this video I'm going to do that in 3 steps. First, I'm going to show you a practical way to find some triads for the jazz chords that you want to play. Then secondly, I'm going to expand a little bit upon that and show you how many chords you can actually get from this and how that works as a very powerful way to get a lot of voicings. And finally, I'm going to explore how we play some of the more complicated chords and find some triads and some ideas to add alterations and extensions. If we take a 2-5-1 in the key of C major and play some basic chords for that, then that might be something like this. Very often in jazz, when you're playing chords, you don't actually want to play the root all the time. And in this case, the root of the chord is always the lowest note that we're playing. So if I leave that out, then I'm left with these 3-note voicings. And this that I'm playing for the D minor 7 is in fact something that you might recognize as an F major triad. So this is a first inversion F major triad. For the G, I'm playing this, and that's actually a second inversion B diminished triad. For the C major 7, I'm playing this, and that's in fact a first inversion E minor triad. So what's happening here is that I'm playing the diatonic triad that's found on the third of each of the chords. So for D, I'm playing an F major triad because F is the third. For G, the third is B, so I'm playing the diatonic triad on B, that's a B diminished triad. For C, I'm playing the diatonic triad that's found on the third there. The third of C is E, and the triad there is an E minor. So if we take this and go over the diatonic triads and diatonic chords in C major, then we have C major, D minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7, G7, A minor 7, B half diminished, and then C major 7. And if I take away the root, then I'm going to get triads, and I'm going to get the triad that's from the third of that chord, so that means that the same row is going to give me E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, C major, D minor, and I'm back on E minor. So what we're using here is that for any chord you want to play a triad voicing, you take the triad that's found on the third of that chord. Before we start looking at adding extensions and alterations to the chords, we can actually look at how much we get out of this discovery, because if I have my D minor 7 here, so I can turn that into a voicing where I'm only using an F major triad, but if this works, then the inversions works as well. So I can also use this one for D minor, this one for D minor 7, and this one for D minor 7. And in fact, this means that there are 3 ways that I can play the 2-5-1 just using these basic triads. And that would be something like this. And this of course also works if you use other string sets. Right now I'm only working with the middle string set, but you can do this on the lower string set as well. That would be something like this. The reason that I can keep on publishing videos every week is that there is a community of people over on Patreon that are supporting the channel. If you want to help me keep making videos and join us over there, then check out my Patreon page. Very often when we're playing chords with extensions or alterations, then you can actually look at them as being a triad with a bass note. And the fact that you can use it and look at it as being a triad means that you can make inversions and you can create a lot of different voicings, as I've just shown you. And if we look at a G7 flat 9 like this, then if I take away the roots of the bass note, the G, then I have these 3 notes, and in fact B, F and A flat is the same as an F diminished triad. So that means I can use these voicings to play a G7 flat 9. And if I do that through the 2-5-1, then I get this. Until now, the triads that I've been using have all been major, minor, or diminished, but you can actually use the other triads or all the other triads as well. And if we look at a D minor 11 like this one, then one way of looking at that is that it's a D bass note over a C sus4 triad. So my sus4 triad is in fact a D minor 11 voicing. And if I put that into the 2-5-1, also still using the flat 9, then I get this. Of course, when you're using this, you do need to know your inversions of your sus4 triads, and that's maybe not the first thing you're going to check out, but then you can already see now that that's a really good idea to do. And you can also see that with the C major 7, because with the C major 7, one note that we want to add here maybe is a 13. So instead of playing the E minor triad, we can play an E sus triad, and then I have the 13 in there as well. And if I add that to the 2-5-1, then I get this. The next level after this is to really take one chord and then focus on finding all the different triads and all the beautiful colors that you have available for that chord. And if you want to check out a video where I'm doing that, then check out this video where I'm finding a lot of different beautiful voicings on a C major 7.